Have you ever wondered how some teams constantly deliver high quality results quickly and effectively? The secret might just be Scrum. Hi, I'm Elad, and I've been a Scrum Master for over 3 years in a software company. I've worked closely with teams to help them collaborate, adapt, and deliver value effectively. In this video, I'll share my insights on what Scrum is, how it works, and why it's one of the most popular frameworks for managing projects. Whether you're new to Agile or just looking for ways to boost your team's productivity, this is the perfect place to start. So what is Scrum? Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps teams work together to solve problems, adapt to changes, and deliver results incrementally. It's part of Agile, a set of principles designed for flexibility and collaboration. Originally developed for software projects, Scrum has since become a go-to framework for a variety of industries, including marketing, manufacturing, and even event planning. At its core, Scrum focuses on small, cross-functional teams working in short cycles called sprints to complete prioritized tasks. It's all about teamwork, transparency, and continuous improvement. The key components of Scrum. Let's start talking about the roles in Scrum, the people that participate. So in Scrum, there are 3 key roles. There's the Scrum Master, that's me, that acts as a coach, ensuring the team follows Scrum practices and helping remove any blockers. The Scrum Master is not a leader, but what's called a servant leader. So a good Scrum Master is there to help the rest of the team, especially to remove any blockers. A Scrum Master enforces the Scrum practices, makes sure we're always working towards the goal. The product owner, they represent the voice of the customer. By large, they need to generate the backlog, which is an assembly of user stories that represent the customer requirements. That's a big role because they are basically defining what needs to be done, and they set the priority, what has to happen first and what has to happen second. The product owner is a key member in the Scrum process and is very important for the success. A good product owner will have good collaboration with the team, communicate well, and have a clear vision on the product or the system. And lastly, but most importantly, the development team. The development team is a self-organizing group responsible for turning ideas into deliverables. This isn't limited to developers, it includes everyone needed to get the job done. Now, mostly the development team is compiled of developers and testers. These people will take the user stories generated by the product owner, break them down into tasks, and start implementing basically the user stories into the system. The Scrum events or Scrum ceremonies. So there are a few ceremonies that take place in every Scrum. Sprint planning. In the beginning of each sprint, the team will get together and decide which user stories should be included in the next sprint. In the sprint planning, you usually want to take a look at your capacity, how many people will be involved in the team, what's their daily capacity, if they have any planned vacations, things in that manner. That's on the capacity side. And on the requirement side, the product owner will define which user stories should be pulled into the sprint until we reach a level of the capacity. It could be full, 90%, 80%. Each company has their own way of doing it. But at the end of the sprint planning, we should have an aligned sprint plan with a sprint backlog that everybody agrees that this is what should be completed by the end of the sprint. Daily stand-up. This is a quick 10 to 15 minute meeting where team members discuss their progress, plans, and any blockers. Now, this isn't a status meeting, so you don't go around and start discussing every user story on the situation, but you do go person by person and you try to answer three questions. What did they do yesterday? What do they plan to do today? And do they have anything blocking them? And it's interesting because as you have the entire team on the call or in the meeting, if it's physical, it's a good place to break blockers and just streamline the process. Many times people will stay after the daily and just having a 5-10 minute discussion one-on-one or however many people are needed, and just streamline the process. The sprint review. So at the end of the sprint, the team will showcase their completed work to the stakeholders for feedback. Usually that's in a demo, what's called. So there's a demo where the developers will show the stakeholders what has been done and what will be included in the next product release. Usually the sprint review also has a section that's taking a look at the KPIs of the sprint. What was our output, our cycle time, what was our velocity, things in that manner. Sprint retrospective. The sprint retrospective is a process where the team reflects internally and asks themselves what went well during this sprint, what didn't go so well, and try to focus on those topics and see what can be done to improve our process. Now, a good retrospective is an honest retrospective where people really try to give positive criticism one another and really try to understand the core issues of why we didn't complete what we tried to complete or why we didn't succeed in something. So it's a very I would say effective process, but requires a lot of company culture for it to work. So in the Scrum, there's also what's called artifacts. There's the sprint itself. That's the time box cycle where the team completes work. Most companies, the sprint is 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but it could be up to 1 month. There's also the product backlog. Basically, that's a prioritized list of all the work that needs to be done. Basically, all the user stories that the POs created. It should be built in a very structured way with clear priority and sequence, so it's easy to track. The sprint backlog, that is basically the result of the sprint plan. That is the backlog that exists for the current sprint. That's going to show us what's planned to be completed this sprint. The increment, that's the deliverable result of the sprint. This is an important aspect of Scrum. It focuses on the customer and what's going to give added value to the customer in very small pieces, which are called increment. So we're going to add small user stories which are part of a feature, but every sprint something will be added to the product's capabilities. So why should you use Scrum? Or why do teams love Scrum? Or why is Scrum so popular in the software world? So Scrum has a few core concepts that are very useful and effective. First of all, it's the adaptability. So Scrum is perfect for projects with changing requirements because it emphasizes on short cycles and regular feedback. You constantly check your output, and sprint is a 2-3 week cycle, so you have a chance to change your plan every 3 weeks, which is great. Collaboration. Scrum encourages frequent communication between team members and stakeholders, and it really gives a lot of freedom and employee empowerment to ask questions and raise issues, and it's a good tool for collaboration. Transparency. So everything from priorities to progress is visible to everyone involved. Most companies have a dedicated system for managing their sprint backlog and product backlog. And in that system, each of the team members can access the sprint and see the actual sprint status. That's also for the stakeholders. So everything is very transparent. Everybody can see if the sprint is going well or not going well. It's very easy to see. You don't have to take part in the dailies to see it. So continuous improvement. So this is where the sprint retrospective is really a key factor. So this is a process that's built in the Scrum. Every sprint you should have a retrospective, and potentially each retrospective should give you a small incremental improvement to help you improve your process. Ultimately, Scrum helps teams deliver value faster, reduce risks, and respond to change effectively. And there you have it, an easy introduction to Scrum. By focusing on teamwork, transparency, and continuous improvement, Scrum can help your team deliver high-quality results one sprint at a time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on Agile, productivity, and project management. Also, check out the links in the description for templates and resources to help you get started with Scrum today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And there you have it,